Oh, I want baby girl.
Don't baby girl me. How many of your groupies you call baby girl? Is Tisha a baby girl? Is Amanda a baby girl too? And who the hell is Bonquisha? Is that even a name?
Man, I can't
Welcome to Shireen's World, everybody. Welcome. Listen, I had to bring something up here a little bit differently today. I wanted to come up here with, some information about signs of a narcissistic female. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, my YouTube channel is about spreading awareness about domestic violence and narcissistic, relationships, whether it's men or women. It doesn't matter. You understand me? So, men, if you're out there and you're dealing with a narcissistic female, I'm spreading awareness about that too. I'm here for you guys too. You understand? I totally understand that your voices need to be heard because y'all out there dealing with these narcissistic females. Okay? So Shireen Gold is here bringing you guys the awareness and, take the tools that you need. And, I hope you guys can heal through it and keep your voice heard because nobody should be in a situation like that. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in a domestic violence situation or a narcissistic abuse relationship, please keep your voice heard. This information is here. I'm spreading awareness for men and women. And listen, if you're dealing with a narcissistic female, I totally understand. They out here. They just like men too. So I'm out here spreading awareness. I'm gonna share a little video clip, and it's called 13 Signs of a Female Narcissist. This is by Dr. Becky Spellman. You can find her channel on YouTube. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into that video real quick. Let's go.
So I'm going to talk about signs that a female is actually a narcissist or has very high traits of narcissism. High traits of narcissism basically means that someone will struggle to empathize with you and they will really struggle to see your perspective. Therefore, they will actually be quite self-centered, although this can be quite covert. It can often be hard to spot a female narcissist because females are often quite maternal, quite caring. They often do a lot for other people. So it's really only when the relationship starts to evolve and other people's feelings become involved that the telltale signs might emerge that actually you're dealing with a female narcissist. Sign number one is that they constantly need attention, validation, or approval from other people. This might come in many different shapes and forms. Everything from the female who constantly seeks validation on social media, trying to build a very large following, or the martyr.
Yeah, so men, if you're out there, you're dealing with something like this, you definitely dealing with a narcissistic female, okay? They like to be on the internet trying to seek validation, posting up these, these thotty looking 3 or 4 pictures, half breast out, and they in a whole relationship they just like the men too. So men, if you're out there dealing with something like this, that's not good. That's a narcissistic female. She looking for more supply to have on her cut, okay?
Complex where someone does so much for other people but ends up resenting them, and their people-pleasing ways are actually really about them just feeling worthy and feeling good enough about themselves. So they essentially suffer in order to seek a lot of validation and approval because they want to be seen as this martyr who has made huge sacrifices for other individuals, but actually at the root of that behavior is needing to feel validated by other people rather than actually getting satisfaction from their kindness. Sign number 2 is lack of empathy. So lack of empathy will really emerge when the female narcissist behaves in a way where she just has not considered how her actions might hurt other people's feelings. So
listen to this, you're dealing with a female, she has no empathy, no nothing, just nothing. Like I said, there's men out there that's dealing with domestic violence and narcissistic abuse. There's men out there that's actually being abused and not putting their hands on women. And, these ladies out there that they're putting their hands on them. And they're not even flinching at them or nothing back. You understand me? This information is for them, all right? Because it's real out here. And they out here too, y'all. Yeah, they don't want to come out and speak because they don't know how to. Okay, they don't, and it's sad that the world is like that. But like I said, if any men is out there going through a domestic or a narcissistic abuse relationship, you need to speak up, keep your voice heard, and don't allow these women to be doing that. If you got to start recording and calling the cops and doing whatever you do, that's what you got to do. But it's best to get yourself out that situation.
She's operating from a very logical perspective. She might have a good moral compass in terms of what's right or wrong logically, but when it comes to actually the more subtle behaviors where there's no obvious moral right or wrong, she might end up hurting people's feelings without even realizing why her behavior was not so ideal. So this can be quite difficult when you're trying to offer constructive feedback, because actually it may not have occurred to her that her behaviors would really hurt other people.
So if you ever try to give some advice to a female and she started reacting crazy off on you, they don't know how to take constructive, feedback or whatever the case may be, criticism or whatever, or maybe you're trying to tell them in the nicest way or whatever, and they just go from 0 to 1,000. Listen, these narcissistic females be having supplies in the cut too, you understand me? And they be having damaging souls. It be something wrong for them from when they're young. They be going through mad stuff. Some of them be unhealed, trauma from young, whatever they got going on, and they don't know how to heal and end cycles and break cycles and move on into another healthy relationship. You understand, without bringing that negative energy baggage with them. So you got all these unhealed narcissistic females out there too. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna call out all the narcissistic females out there. They be out there with a lot of men, multiple different kids, just doing whatever that they doing out there, partying, mass supplies in the cut, wearing the most skimpiest outfit, thinking they the hot top shit out there in the world, trying to fight other females for men. And it's wicked out here in these streets when you're dealing with a narcissistic female. Come on, they just like the men. Like I said, narcissistic abuse has no gender. It's real out here, okay? So if you're a man and you're dealing with something like this, please keep your voice heard. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Whatever you got to do. Follow my Facebook page, Domestic Violence and Narcissistic Relationships I Survive, and get the information that you need, okay?
Other people's feelings. And there's a whole spectrum when it comes to narcissism. So some narcissistic females just won't care and they'll be highly defensive when you offer feedback. Other people who have high traits of narcissism actually will have a bit more regard for how their behavior has impacted other people, but it won't be so obvious for them as to how to operate in a way that actually empathizes with other people. Number 3 is manipulative behavior. So manipulative behavior might include things such as guilt tripping or gaslighting in order to influence someone's behavior or perspective. An example of this might be speaking badly about someone behind their back in order to try and influence how it.
Now, them narcissistic females, they be out there doing it. They get amongst their little girlfriends and they talk about everybody, you, whatever, what you doing for them. They'll lie. They'll do all of that out there in the street. That ain't no women. You're dealing with a narcissistic female that has not no women. And if you sitting there trying to figure out, oh, why you can't go get help, I love you so much, sir, that female is not going to go get help. Okay? It's embedded in her. It's embedded. So the best thing to do is just get yourself out that situation the safest way you can. And they get crazy too. You know, them narcissistic females that be popping up and pop about your job and want to fight these girls out there for you. They just like the men too. So ladies and gentlemen, please, guys, be careful out here dealing with these females, okay? They be narcissists. They be domestic violence. They be having all that going on with them. Unhealed. Trauma.
How an individual sees another individual, rather than actually directly speaking to the individual that they have a problem with and tackling the situation head on. Remember that narcissists have had a pretty tough upbringing, so actually direct communication in childhood didn't work, and they've learned manipulative tactics in order to be able to get what they want and essentially in order to survive. So in childhood, actually being manipulative worked very well, served them well, and perhaps helped them survive. But actually, as an adult, being manipulative is not the most effective way of operating. And the narcissist never actually learns that they can really get their needs met far better if they just communicate directly. So direct communication is very confronting and scary for the narcissist because they're not used to their emotions being responded to in a positive way. So it becomes quite innate. They often manipulate without even realizing they're doing it. Number 4 is a grandiose sense of self. So they might feel quite entitled and they might have this self-image that they're...
Pay attention to these grandiose type of narcissists. Like, they be out here real. Like, these type of females be out here. They be on go mode. They be drinking. They be doing all types of stuff. Like, them narcissistic females, they be in them bars every week, in them clubs. They be on the internet. They be doing all of this. Like, wow, what's all of that for? And then y'all the same type of females that sit back and be like, oh, I need a man. You know what kills me? It be the ones that be like, oh, they need a man that got this many figures, that got that, that got that. Sweetheart, do you got that? Do you got that? You ain't got that. That's way out your bracket. You ain't got that. They be killing me out here with that stuff, y'all. So listen, these narcissistic females be out here. They'll sleep with your best friend. They'll do everything in the world. They like to be the center of attention, okay? And it's worse because they're females, okay? So like I said, Shireen World is definitely going to call out all narcissistic females. You're going to be called out on your shenanigans. There's not a one-way avenue over here. Y'all thought I was going to come up on this platform and just be calling out narcissistic men, domestic violence men. No, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. It works both ways. And they're out here and they're abusing these men. And these men are out here not able to speak. It's real. Right? So, ladies, y'all need to do better. Go get some healing.
That they're better than other people. They'll often present this through the way that they communicate about themselves. Their thoughts, their opinions are always right, and other people don't know what they're talking about. However, behind this, you have a very fragile sense of self, and there's always identity issues with a female narcissist. So when they were growing up, they weren't really promoted for their own individual ways of being. They were actually punished and often abused when they would exercise their own identity, and including their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So this fractured sense of self often means that they don't really know who they are, and their ways of viewing themselves can fluctuate between idolizing themselves and thinking that they are absolutely wonderful compared to other people, and actually sometimes feeling that way on the inside, but other times feeling completely worthless on the inside and having tremendous amounts of shame. However, they will never admit their fragile sense of self or their lack of self-worth. They will always try to be self-promoting, and they'll always try and come across as if they're right or they know best. But really on the inside, there's a very different story going on in relation to this person's feelings. Number 5 is an exploitative nature. So female narcissists will use people for their own gain. So they'll form friendships because it benefits them or will help them climb the social ladder or achieve things financially.
Now that's crazy. Y'all hear that? Them females would definitely use other people to go against other people. Let's speak for example, in the town that I live in, what I notice what they do is that if one person don't like you, if one person don't like you, they'll team up with another person that they don't even know, and they'll try to come after you like that. Like, that's just sad out here. It's sad. And honestly, that probably happens anywhere nationwide in anybody's city or town, okay? But I'm just giving y'all a little example. This is how these narcissistic females operate, okay? This is how they operate. And then they have mass supply in the cut. Yo, these narcissistic females be having mass supply in the cut. It'd be crazy. But they be the same ones that be spitting out, oh, they need a man. Well, if you stop having them narcissistic traits and them narcissistic moves, and you got all them baggage and you got mad stuff going on and going wrong with yourself, maybe you would have a man. Maybe you probably ran your man away. But it kills me how these narcissistic females be coming out here doing this stuff and saying all this wild stuff on the internet and thinking they look good like that. Sweetheart, you don't look good like that. You're a narcissist. That's number 1. And if you're out here putting your hand on a man, you're a domestic violence. person, okay? That's number two. I'm surprised you ain't make it to the jail place already, because these men are scared to, to do that, to make that step. You understand me? So they have to deal with these type of women. They got babies by these women's, that, they're married to these people. It's so much. And like I said, there are men out there that's actively not putting their hands on women. They're not screaming, they're not yelling, they're not shouting, they're doing everything that that they're doing as a man, as a husband, as a boyfriend, as whatever it is. And these women are out here abusing, using, supplying, doing whatever it is, hurting that person. But then those are the same ones that come out and be, oh, I need a man. They think they this, or they be like, oh, I don't need a man for anything. Like, come on, stop it. Y'all narcissistic females kill me out here, just like these narcissistic men.
Financially or career-wise, they will make friends with the right people, and they won't be very interested in people who can't help them. And this is where you see very black and white ways of being with people. They might be overly nice to a particular person and actually quite mean or totally disregard another person as if they don't exist, or as if
just so they can use you, fellas. Just so they can use you, fellas. Don't be out here letting these females use y'all. Start doing research. See if they've been arrested for domestic violence. The same way I say for the men, because these ladies be out here doing stuff. Are they healed? It doesn't matter if somebody got a background or a past or whatever. Did they heal? Are they still talking about their ex? Are they still talking about the damage their ex did to them? If so, they're not healed. Because if you healed out in these streets, you won't be out here talking about what your ex did to you. You won't be out here bringing that bad baggage into your new relationship as a narcissistic female. Okay, we're talking to the narcissistic females, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, so you won't be bringing all that unhealed stuff, all that stuff, that trauma that happened to you from a young age, and now you're growing up doing all this weird, crazy, shing-ding stuff, and you're bringing it onto your adult age, and you're bringing it onto your relationships. We're talking about that, like. Come on, y'all need to heal out here in these streets. And if, like I said, if you have a narcissistic female, just like a narcissistic man, ain't no cure to that. The only cure is by you going to sit your ass down in the therapist chair, figuring out what's going wrong, and you keeping it real. Now, if you have like anxiety, PTSD, or anything else that falls within that, then there's cure for that. But to be a narcissist, a narcissistic personality disorder, ain't no cure to that, man. Y'all need some help. So, men, if you're out there dealing with a narcissistic female, please keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep your voice heard. Stay 10 steps ahead of these females out here in these streets that's doing these devilish 3 or 4 clown circus shit shows, because that's what I call it. It's a 3 or 4 shit show. And then when somebody out there catching something in these streets, then what? Come on now. Men, y'all don't deserve that. Ladies, y'all don't deserve that either. And when I mean by ladies, y'all don't deserve that. Y'all know what I mean. I mean by the ladies out there that's surviving and thriving and being a victim to they don't deserve that either. But y'all narcissistic female and men, y'all disgusting. Y'all nasty.
as if they're just not worthy. And this is why actually female narcissists can operate in disguise for a very long time, because if you're one of the people that they're nice to, you can do no wrong. They're always polite, nice, kind to you. But then what you might notice over time is that actually their ways of being with other people is quite different. They can really not consider other people if they feel that that person is of no worth to them at all. Sign number 6 is having very shallow relationships. So actually the relationships that they form don't really become very deep, because a narcissist is very ashamed of their inner world, so they don't really share their true thoughts and feelings. So they keep relationships on a very superficial level. They're also known for actually encouraging quite codependent relationships because they're terrified that people will leave them. They also get very jealous of other people, so they will often try and bring people close to them while pushing other people away. So you'll see codependency in these kind of individuals, which might look like it's not a very shallow relationship, but when you actually look at how well do they know someone in relation to letting someone in to see who they are intimately and letting someone into their inner world, that these relationships will actually be quite superficial, even though they might spend a lot of time with someone. Number 7 is inconsistent behavior. So the female narcissist might switch from being extremely giving, caring, kind, and coming across as lovely to actually being quite a nasty person who causes harm to individuals, or at the very least just ignores people and treats it.
Now, especially if you have one that drinks. Fellas, if you have a narcissistic female that's out there drinking liquor, it gets worse. It gets even disgusting. It gets even more nasty. It gets even more nasty if they out there drinking that liquor. Ladies, y'all got kids out here. So men, if they out there drinking that liquor and they doing all this weird stuff, it, of course, it's going to double times be more crazier because there's liquor involved. There's alcohol involved, okay? It's crazy.
It's an individual as if they're worthless. Now, you might be the victim of this kind of switching behavior where on different occasions you're seeing very different sides to this individual, but what you might see is that they treat you very different to how they treat other people. And you could be in the good box or the bad box, but generally they're black and white about people, and that can switch very suddenly. So when you first meet someone, they might be incredible towards you and you really enjoy this person's company because they're giving you so much validation. They're so kind, they're so generous with their time, they've such great energy, and then you do one thing wrong and then you're put into the black box. You're all of a sudden discarded and no longer how they used to treat you. And that can be very confusing. So the splitting behavior.
But then they're going to call you and ask you for some money. You know them narcissistic females that want to be calling you for $40, alcohol, weed, whatever they calling you for. All right? Those type of females. They're going to put you in that black box and then the next minute they got their hand out asking you for something. Those are narcissistic females. Y'all pay attention. Y'all men, stay focused. Just like I tell the ladies to stay focused, and I tell everybody to stay focused. Stay focused dealing with these narcissistic females, because like I said, it could get evil and it could get dangerous at the end, especially if you're a good man out there in these streets and they treating you like shit and trash and you trying to walk away. That narcissistic female is not going to let you go in peace. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like I tell everybody, it gets hard, but it gets easy. And as you being a man, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I understand you got feelings, you could cry, you could do all of that, okay? Because everybody is human out here. So listen, stay 10 steps ahead of them. Keep all your evidence. Don't react to them. Don't react to these females. Don't react at all. All right? That's what they're looking for. I keep telling y'all, this is a narcissist is a narcissist. It don't matter if you're a man or a female. They're a narcissist. But like I said, I have to call out all you narcissistic females out there in the streets. Personally, have to call y'all out because y'all out here and y'all doing this garbage 304, thinking y'all on Love and Hip Hop, thinking y'all on baddies. What is this baddie stuff? Like, what's going on? This ain't no baddies. This is real life stuff. Y'all still need help. Y'all need help. Y'all narcissistic females. Let me tell y'all something. This ain't baddies. It's real life. This ain't Love and Hip Hop. It's real life. You want that type of lifestyle? Listen, yeah, you go make that money and you go on out there and get that lifestyle. But in this type of world, don't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for no Love and Hip Hop. Think you baddies want to fight, do all of this. What real woman out there in these streets got time to be doing all of that every day, all day? Not one woman out there in the street got time for that. A mature woman out there don't have time to be doing that, which y'all narcissistic females be out here doing. And here's the thing, Shireen World is going to call y'all out. I keep telling you, I'm not up on this platform just to call out one person. No, it's to air out all you narcissistic females and all you narcissistic men, because it's real out here, and most of y'all narcissistic females need to go get some healing. Y'all need to go get some healing. Like I keep telling y'all, when y'all coming out these dangerous, battered, whatever y'all doing situations, y'all got things going wrong with yourself, go get some mental help. Go get yourself checked out. Go. You cannot move on into another relationship like that. You narcissistic females, you can't. You cannot. Especially if you have these situations going on. You need to go get yourself some help. And if you can't date for a while, then that's what you do, because you're in your healing process. This is why y'all jumping into relationships and to the next, and y'all messing it up. And then, that's crazy. You gotta heal. Y'all gotta heal. And men, If you're dealing with a narcissistic female and you're coming out these situations, please heal. Keep your head focused. All right? You're gonna all women out there ain't like that, and it's not. Listen, all women out there is not a narcissist. Okay? So y'all stay focused. Welcome to Shireen's World. I appreciate everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
You got a long way to go. Rock with me now.